Now that you have developed an appreciation for movies, you may be wondering if the cars in some of your faves are genuine. For the most part, the cars shown in these movies are real. However, there are a few fake antics. Here are cars from your favorite movie. 1971 Chevrolet Monte Carlo, $35,369 cost of car today. From the movie, Training Day. A lot of films and TV series have used the Chevrolet Monte Carlo in a major part, including Trailer Park Boys, Breaking Bad, and many Fast and Furious movies. Camera-friendly vehicles from the late 1970s are especially noteworthy for their tall hood, sweeping lines, and sharp angles. The use of the Monte Carlo in NASCAR also led to several appearances in television and film, including as the 2018 drama God Bless the Broken Road and Talladega Nights, The Legend of Ricky Bobby. Its strong engine and race-ready suspension also won it favor with law enforcement, particularly covert agents like the ones played by Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke in the buddy cop film Training Day from 2001. For his portrayal of Alonzo Harris, a detective who frequently deviates from accepted police protocol, Washington was awarded the Best Actor Oscar for that year. He demonstrates his unethical police methods to rookie detective Jake Hoyt, Ethan Hawke, throughout the movie, which involves giving Hoyt a PCP dose and robbing drug traffickers of their money. Harris utilizes the hydraulic suspension of the 1979 Black Monte Carlo to raise and lower the vehicle, and the two spend a large portion of the movie driving about Los Angeles in it. Hoyt remarks that the Monte Carlo is clearly not from the police motor pool when he first sees it, to which Harris responds, "Sexy, isn't it?"
Sexy though, isn't it?
The movie car had Dayton wire rims, a special Flowmaster exhaust system, and a sunroof, features not found on the standard 1979 Monte Carlo, in addition to a hydropneumatic suspension that could make the vehicle bounce and dance. Director Antoine Fuqua recalled this during a panel discussion at the 2021 Toronto Film Festival, saying that all these extras made the automobile appealing to thieves still. 2 years following its 1970 debut, the Monte Carlo routinely competed in NASCAR racing until taking a break in 1988. During the first few years, the vehicles were large and bulky, but NASCAR required regularization to shorten 110-inch wheelbase automobiles made by Detroit. What happened next was funny. For the 1982 and 1983 model years, the firm introduced what were referred to as flat-nose versions. Later on, a few more models were introduced for upcoming races. But the 1995 Monte Carlo was a true racing jewel. After a break, the Chevy Classic came back with an even greater desire to win. Before manufacture ended in 2007, it gained popularity and won several NASCAR Manufacturers' Cup Awards. 1971 Ford Mustang Mach 1, $50,572 cost of car today. From the movie, Diamonds Are Forever. James Bond and Tiffany Case drive a 1971 Ford Mustang Mach 1 in the 1971 James Bond film Diamonds Are Forever. This first-generation Mustang was built by American manufacturer Ford and belongs to the now classic 1971 to 1973 series, which was still in its infancy when the movie was filmed. Introduced in the earlier 1969 to 1970 series, the Mach 1 is a performance variant of the package. The vehicle was supplied by Ford Motor Company. A few of the Mustangs used to film Diamonds Are Forever have been located by specialists and fans in previous years, and some of them are on exhibit. It seems that Diamonds Are Forever was filmed using a variety of vehicles with various engines. Here's a brief historical fact about the Mustang Mach 1. Tiffany drives the Mustang Mach 1 for the first time as Bond pursues Professor Metz across the adjacent Nevadan deserts near Las Vegas. Following a security breach at Willard White Tektronix, the vehicle is under police pursuit. Later on in the day, Bond has to escape being apprehended by former Las Vegas Police Department officers, which leads to a vehicle chase across the city. Bond drives down a tiny alley on two wheels and escapes the police. If you look at the automobiles and the styles of the 1970s, subtlety is not one of the many things you might accuse them of. This 1970 Mach 1 Mustang with the 428 Cobra jet engine, complete with a shaker boldly sticking its nose through the hood, is one of the items from that era. It stated a quite low 335 horses, which might not be the actual number. Either way, the Bent 8 was a part of the modern movement to get more and more cubic inches beneath the paint. The C6 gearbox, which was essentially a 3-speed heavy-duty vehicle intended for use in trucks and big cars and saw decades of service in a variety of vehicles, is part of the drivetrain of this vehicle. 1970 Chevrolet Nova, $52,426 cost of car today. From the movie, Death Proof. Fans of cars will never forget the 1970 Chevrolet Nova Russell that Russell drives and crashes in the opening scene of the film. The famous car has a skull and cross lightning bolts painted on the hood, and it is painted flat black. It is equipped with a kill cage for the unintentional passenger and roll cage for the driver. Numerous tributes have been inspired by the death-proof Nova. However, today we shall learn how many automobiles were utilized in the movie, how many are still in operation, and their current locations. Some may ask why Tarantino selected a Nova for the movie out of all the automobiles. It so happens that Quentin Tarantino enjoys driving a Chevy Nova. It appears that a pivotal moment in Reservoir Dogs makes use of a Nova. It's also the vehicle from Pulp Fiction's iconic cleanup scene. Tarantino was inspired to produce this movie by a technician who said, "You can make any car death-proof," which would entail transforming a Nova into a formidable vehicle despite its little size. Thus, Tarantino's love for the brand is what made this Nova so famous. A common cliché is, reality is unrealistic, when moviegoers reject ideas based only on the representations they've seen in the media. Audience members are accustomed to loud, revving automobiles, particularly muscle trucks. Although the engine of a real Chevy Nova is pretty quiet, the makers gave it extra volume to make it seem more spectacular and like a true beast on film. The exciting vehicle pursuit between Mike and the group of ladies, which features stuntwoman Zoe Bell hanging to the bonnet of the other car, is one of the movie's highlights. This was not the standard gimmick where the camera is sped up to make it look like the automobiles are moving quickly. With Bell putting herself in danger on the car's bonnet, both vehicles continue to reach speeds of 80 and even 100 miles per hour. Similarly, the early stunt in which the Nova crashed into another vehicle did so at a high speed and posed a risk to other vehicles. It demonstrated how quickly the Nova could go, if nothing else. Here is a brief history of the Chevy Nova. The 1960 Falcon, successfully released by Ford, greatly increased the popularity of American small vehicles. Chevy wanted to make a car that was both cool and reasonably priced for this emerging market. They quickly began producing the 1962 Chevy 2, a vehicle based on General Motors' X-body architecture. Chevy did not set out to create a groundbreaking vehicle with the 1962 Chevy 2. Instead, it was intended to be a straightforward little vehicle for Chevrolet consumers. Within the Chevy organization, there was much discussion about the naming for this vehicle. They changed the primary title of this model at the last minute from Nova to Chevy 2, perhaps because the latter didn't begin with a C. Even such, the word Nova only appeared on the first-year model as a slogan for the premium series. Chevrolet decided to abandon the Chevy 2 and rename the vehicle Nova in 1969. The Ford Falcon that the Chevy 2 was based on was quite similar to it. There were many body options available for the 1962 model, including wagons, sedans, a two-door hardtop, and convertibles. Customers may choose between two more types that Ford Falcon offered: a two-door wagon or sedan and a coupe utility. Chevrolet most likely steered clear of such choices to avoid going up against its own El Camino. What do you think of the cars from your favorite movies? Are they genuinely fascinating to you, or do you think there's something strange about them? Let us know what you think in the comments section. If you enjoy contents like this, subscribe to the channel and turn the notification bell on to get notified when we post interesting contents like this.